All right, guys, so up next, I think this is step 13 maybe. We're going to talk about getting a second job because, and I've hinted to this before, and I know I probably created some confusion as a result of that in like step 9, 10, and 11. But what I'm talking about now is basically having capital to go and find your target market and get them to all the stuff that you just created. Your music, your streaming, your logo, your pictures, your socials, and all of everything that you have that it takes to be a DJ producer. You know, your mom, your brother, and your partner cannot support you forever as your fan base. You need to go out there and target your fan base. And now, it's one of the most exciting times ever to do that. I can remember back in 2000, I think it was 2010, it was about 10 years ago, I tried, somebody gave me a Facebook promotional card for ads. It was like $70 in ad spend, and I tried to run ads towards my Facebook DJ profile, and it was awful. It didn't work. But that was also 10 years ago, and it's you know, at that time Facebook wasn't what it is now with like a pixel and actual data on artists. You know, back then I can remember even like I struggled to even get a successful ad campaign going because there was no way to target things that, you know, ravers were into on Facebook because it just wasn't made yet. It wasn't tracked yet. The data wasn't there. That option wasn't available. So anyways, yeah, now's the time. Get a second job, and that's going to be what the bulk of this lesson is about. You need a second job, or you need money at the very least. You don't necessarily need a second job, but most, you know, normal, modest people that are trying to do this, you're going to need a second job, and the best way to do that is, I think at least, or the way I found success in doing it, is becoming a brand ambassador. Brand ambassadors are the people that you see in Sam's Clubs, Walmart, liquor stores, and they sample stuff. They sample beef jerky, they sample liquor, they sample coffee, they sample every and anything that you can think of. Usually because those gigs are super part-time, meaning it's pretty much usually only Saturday and Sunday mornings to afternoons. Number one, that leaves your nights open for gigs if need be, locally. And then number two, because they're super part-time, they tend to pay a bit better and a bit more than other jobs. So, and they tend to be a little bit more flexible as well, which can be helpful if you're a musician. Maybe you woke up late, maybe there's other issues, you can't get to work or something. Not all of them are like that, but I've found that they are. So, cool thing about those jobs, it's not a common wage. It's way higher than a normal job, and it gives you the money that you need to spend on ads to push your everything. And so what I mean by that is you don't know who your fan base really is yet. So you're gonna need to find a way, which you will through ads, to push people to your stuff. But the thing is, when you first start out, and I've explained this a little bit before, you don't really know who your fan base is. And a lot of times people are like, well, I make house music, so I don't know, whoever, just pick a house guy like Dirty Bird Records or Oliver Heldon or whoever. That's my people because that's who I sound like. That's cool, and that might be true, but here's the thing. You have to ask the market, and you have to respond to the market. So what I mean by that is you think that, but whether you're right or not, it doesn't matter. What you want to do is just get the right answer. Maybe, actually, it's not Oliver Heldon fans that actually like you. It could more likely be David Guetta or Afrojack. And, like, maybe you didn't think that, but that's okay because here's the good news. Beyond the ego is the good news that you found your fan base. You targeted your fans. Who cares if your fans that are responding positively to your music and giving you money for t-shirts and inching you closer to being on tour and attracting a manager, who cares if they also happen to like Afrojack, but you really wanted them to like Oliver Heldon? Like, that's just ridiculousness that doesn't need to be like overthought. Like, so the reason why I bring all that up is you need to ask the market, and you ask the market by setting up an ad with the money that you've been working on as a brand ambassador or something else, maybe being a daytime bartender or working bartending shifts on the weekend. Or, here's a great one. Ready? DJing. Get a paid DJ gig at night. Maybe do brand ambassador on the weekend mornings. Do DJ gigs at night on the weekend nights. And now you've got a good chunk of change that you can run ads on to see if you're correct. Because you need to see, like, well, I think I sound like Oliver Howden, so I'm going to target Dirty Bird and Oliver Howden fans. But then you find out, and you'll need to push money towards that, obviously, to see, but you might find out that the data really doesn't support that, and Oliver Howden fans and Dirty Bird fans really actually don't like you, but you started to, maybe you asked like your little sister or your boyfriend or whoever, and they're like, no, dude, you sound like Afrojack. So now you start pointing your ads towards Afrojack fans and you skyrocket. Doesn't matter whether or not you like Afrojack or you think that's the right answer or the wrong answer. You just need to spend money based on what other people say. And then you'll eventually find your success and find your pocket, and then you just juice the heck out of that. So it's really not so much based on your opinion or your sound as it is based on what does the market respond to, like which market is responding to your music. If it's Afrojack fans, who cares? They're about to freaking skyrocket you and get you on tour, so go for that. May have been out of left field, but so what? So that's pretty much it on this episode or this tip. Get a second job or find a way to get money to push towards an ad spend budget, a marketing budget, so that you can at least begin to target who you think your fans are and figure out as a result who your actual fans are. Once you figure out who your actual fans are through trial and error in the beginning stages, then you realize what works, what doesn't, who you sound like, who you don't sound like according to other people, not necessarily you, because you're sort of biased. You kind of can't see what other people can in you. Now you can juice the heck out of what works and stop spending money on what doesn't. And that may have been my problem back in the day too. I really didn't know to ask other people. I just felt that I sounded like DJ Dan, and I don't even think I could even target DJ Dan fans back in 2010 on Facebook. But that may have been a mistake, on my part. Sometimes who you think you sound like versus what the market says you actually sound like are two different things, and you're wasting money running in a bad direction when you could be over here spending half as much with 10 times the success. So, yeah, get a second job, find a way to get some extra money, make yourself a marketing budget, and then push that budget towards ads that start to either target who you need to go towards or get rid of, okay, well, that didn't work, so we're not going to promote towards that group of people anymore. And target your fan base, because once you have it targeted, the good news is you no longer need to worry about targeting them. You found them, so now you can move on to the next phase, which is, well, I already have them, let me just market to them and market to them and market to them and use my pixel and get them to download my music and stream my music and buy t-shirts and come see me as I set up a mini tour and all of that. So hope that helps. There's kind of 3 steps to that. Get a second job for now, that's the main thing, but eventually what you'll do is run ads towards people, figuring out who your fan base is, and then once you figure that out, you'll juice the heck out of that fan base, the people who actually like you, the people who are making it for you, they're working, and getting rid of the people who aren't. So I know that was a bit long-winded, guys, but I try to break it down in ways that everybody can understand, and not just people who are super tech savvy. So I love you guys. I'll see you in the next tip. Later.